Like this like camera setting. I don't even know what I did. It just got up here when I tried to put my phone up. But family, welcome back to the channel. This is Life with Young Blood. For those who don't know, it's called Young Blood because of my last name. And I wanted to talk to the guys out there who is in the grind mode right now. I'm talking, you not living your best life just yet, but it's to come. And I was once told, this kind of just dawned on me today, but someone told me once in life, like, tough beginnings lead to happy endings. And I thought that was just such a powerful thing, man, because, when you first take that leap of faith or you first start realizing, like, all right, there's more out there than my life and I want to start doing more for myself, you start like running into battles after battles. It's like out of nowhere, once your awareness kicked in that you can do more for yourself, the storm hits. It's like instantly, like it's like the storm instantly hits. And now it's like when you was just going through life on some bot shit, like there was no adversity. But once it was time to start, all right, challenging myself, it's time to start focusing on new things, adversity finally strikes. And I want you to know there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Like your beginning might be a little rough, and it should be that way. Because when you're changing, you're not an expert at things that you've never done before. You're going to go into any new endeavor as a beginner or a rookie, we would call it. So you might have to be in different spaces now that you never talked in. Like, I know when I started learning about real estate, I started going to these like networking events, and I would hear people talking real estate like lingo and stuff, and I don't know what they talking about. I don't know about no loan process they talking about. I don't know about like no CRM, no dollar system. I didn't know what they were talking about. But as I started to get more dialed in and just let time catch up with my grind, I started being able to control conversations and start talking to people and start learning and adding things to what I had going on. But you got to be willing to go through that phase of like unknowing. You know what I mean? And that's a scary phase sometimes, man. Especially when you're like brand new into taking, a leap of faith. So you got to be okay being a new kid on the block when it comes to learning something new. It's even when you're going to the gym, first time going to the gym, you go in there, you like, all right, haven't been in here since high school. I haven't been in here since I was in my school gym. And you might not be the best of fit. You might not be able to want to lift the weights you thought you can lift, but it's like, you know what? We in here now. And you only get stronger the more you keep going, but you gotta keep going. Oh, hold on. I think I found something out. Oh, here we go. All right. Okay. Yeah. I was like, gotta bring this brightness up. But yeah, you just gotta keep going. But the beginning is gonna be tough. It's not gonna be an easy thing. Nothing that you want for yourself just comes easy. And if it does, it doesn't sustain. It doesn't last long. You start ending up realizing you jumped in head first or something blindly when things start going real nice and smooth, like very easily, really quick. And that's a good thing. Some people can adjust the maneuver once success hits fast. Some people can't, and they lose it fast. And they say what comes down, what goes up fast comes down fast as well, but it comes down even harder. So it's like, don't pray for like an easy journey. Get the hard shit out the way now. I always had this mentality of like, I don't want to reach my riches at an early age. And let's say my riches is like 100K and I start betting real heavy and, I lose it real fast. I'd rather like keep betting on myself really hard now, get all my L's out the way. So that when I start taking L's later on in life, they're not as big. And I know that I have discipline enough to like control my risk to reward. You know what I mean? So, but you got to have that discernment, and that's a whole nother discussion. But, tough beginnings is going to be a part of your journey, and you got to embrace that. You can't be running away from that. You can't be scared of, a hard time, because once the time like hits, once that adversity hits, it's time for you to be like like mentally strong, like stronger than ever though. Some people mentality ain't built for adversity and built to go through a tough time. Like most men's tough times usually is when like they're in a dark space in their life and it's more so things ain't going their way or they broke. Like most men don't operate well, like really well when they broke. And I get it, but it's more so because they haven't learned certain things that keeps them happy without the money, you know? And I think that's always been, to me, I've always looked at that as a lack of knowledge of self. Once you have knowledge of self of who you are, the journey gets easy. It's like you understand the sciences of this world, shit starts to get real smooth. Um, but the happy ending part, you know, the happy ending for you might not come until 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line. Like you don't really know when you don't really know when things get greater, bro. You just got to understand is things gonna get greater later, and be happy in the grind. Be happy in the grind. Appreciate the learning phase. Like appreciate seeing yourself go through breakthroughs through the skills you're learning. You know, like hitting those little milestones. Like be happy during those moments. And one like I wouldn't even say it's a little tip. One huge tip to take from like when you start like really getting on that journey and you start getting closer to your goal, you gotta set another one. You have to set another goal. You can't allow yourself to get closer and closer to the first goal and there's no other goals you want to attain or hit, because as soon as you hit your goal, you slow the fuck down. And you don't realize this yet, but you know, the same momentum you had going to the first goal, you're going to need that going to the second and the third and the fourth, because once momentum slows down, everything you've been working on and building starts to compound and start coming later and hitting you later. Like you reap the benefits of your works that you did 3-4 months ago right now. So whatever you was on 2-3 months ago, you're now probably feeling the effects of it. So everything you're doing right now, you might not feel the effects of it until 3 months later. So it's a compound effect. Once you start slowing down, 3 months later, you're gonna start feeling this weird ass phase. You're like, what the fuck is going on? I've been really locked in, I've been focused. What is happening in my life? And then you realize like, damn, okay, it is a little bit of a compound effect. I was off my pivot some months back, and I don't know why it's hitting me now, but I'm starting to feel the effects of it. And you start, cause it's like a sense of like, it's like once you hit your goal, it's like a spirit of laziness just straight like hits you like a wave, just crashes on you. And you know, it's just you gotta get out that instantly. So keep setting goals. You hit one goal, set another one. You know what I mean? Set another one. Never lose your ambition. Once you lose your ambition, you're no longer motivated anymore. Like what is there to be motivated about when you're mentally already where you want to be? You know, and at whatever age you at, you got a lot more life to live. So I really doubt you're where you truly want to be. You're where you believe you want to be. But there's so much more to your life. You got to understand that there's going to be way more you got to attain for yourself, because anything you start having, you start to get comfortable in that phase. Like let's say your goal is to start making 100K a year and you hit that. And let's say you start making 100K a year every year for the next 2-3 years. You're going to be very, very comfortable. That's something you're not going to be happy about. I promise you. You're not going to be happy about making the same level of income every freaking year. You think about people who have careers now, they're always talking about they want to raise. It don't matter how much money they start getting. They're always looking for a raise, because the life you have right now starts to get not boring, but it's always going to be something new you want for yourself. And if you allow yourself to get limited and comfortable with the new life you have for that moment being, you start just losing that motivation, that ambition, that grind, and it's hard to pick back up something you slow down on sometimes. Like some people, I know y'all heard the stories probably from your grandparents or your parents, where it's like I done been around niggas who was living their life in their 20s and now in their 40s, all they do was talk about their 20s. Like what? Like imagine you living your life in your 20s and then you done somehow got way like too comfortable and like shit just went left one day. And now all you can do is like think about the past and think about where you should have been, where you could have been. I was doing this and that, and now I'm not. What? Nah. But it's sometimes those dudes have fast success though. That's all, like that happens to some people. It happens like fast success can be a year, it could be 2 years. It all depends upon where that person's at mentally. But for yourself, play that long game. Play that long game for yourself, man. Like just because I'm saying tough beginnings, lead to happy endings, that don't mean like you got to be in a tough spot for like 5 to 10 years until you get to where you want to be at. I'm just saying more so you got to stick to the grind and be willing to not have what you want early on. Like you might not have the girls you want in the beginning phase. You might not be able to have the experiences in life where as though you're not able to, do self-care things like you see other niggas doing, shit, shopping and traveling like everybody else. Like your time and energy might need to be spent of you being in the crib, locked in, studying. You know what I mean? Trying out different business ventures. That might just have to be what your early phases look like. Building a company, going broke a couple times, like not being afraid of, losing back to back to back. Cause that's what it looks like. When you going after something, you just keep losing sometimes, bro. Then you'll get a win, and then that win get to your head, and then you fuck around and start losing again because you didn't let your ego the ego then tricks you into thinking you somebody you not yet. It's so many ups and downs in this life, bro. You got to know how to ride the waves of what this life has for you, bro. Cause it was something I spoke on one video, but I took it down. But like I was talking about how, I've seen myself have peaks and valleys, and some of my valleys were very much preventable, very much preventable. But when I'll be at a peak in my life, I would tend to look at myself as I would perceive myself way greater than the actions I was like doing in that moment. Like I was probably in my brain, because again, my ego is now inflated. So I'm seeing myself as a shit. In my brain, I'm probably moving at a 10. But in reality, my highest version of myself if I was in my highest version of myself and I could like move into the future, I'll be looking at the actions I was doing in that moment. And I'll be like, girl, you probably like at a 3 right now. But I can't see that. I can't see that. All I can see is that I'm winning right now. I'm at a high. So when you start taking leaps of faith, you start moving, trying to move more calculated, but you got this inflated ego of who you think you are, and you really not moving like the highest, best version as you should, you'll fuck around, start taking L's, bro. Start taking L's, bro. And they start happening. They start happening back to back to back. You just like, yo, what the fuck? I was just winning like 6 months ago. What just happened? And it's not like the grind slows down. It's not like, you forget who you are, because your self-value isn't attached to your pocket. So you don't forget who you are. It's just like, yo, like, why am I playing not moving the way I thought it would move? You know what I mean? Like, let me turn the light on in here. Get a little bit of brightness in here real quick. But yeah, you start thinking like, why am I playing not moving the way I thought it would, Like I had this planned out, I had that planned out, and nothing went my way. And just because you probably wasn't being as tactical as you thought you was, you probably start looking back at it like, well, yeah, I really wasn't managing my time the way I said I would. I didn't really keep my word on my goals the way I said I would. I did kind of slack on those days when it was time to attack the grind and really, pull an all nighter or work harder, or it did not go out when I said I would. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be all those things. Like, damn, that shit really does add up. Those little details to your day start really compounding. And you gotta know how to manage, your highs and your lows in your life, but know how to prevent yourself from taking a low. And the way to prevent yourself is keeping that goal in mind and continuously work towards it. And then once that goal is crushed, already have the next goal set. Act like you didn't even smash that first goal. Go ahead, like, all right, cool. I'm glad I got here, and then keep working again. That's just how I gotta go. That's just how I gotta go. Because it's like you gotta have that Mamba mentality. Like, Kobe was fucking like winning championships and then practice the next day, training the next day. And it's just because he understood what would happen if he slowed down. You just can't, like, you cannot slow down. You cannot slow down. But best believe though, the more you keep grinding, the more you keep being consistent, shit does get better. Like, like I said, tough beginnings lead to happy endings. But you damn near in the middle of your journey, and it's real happy right now. I tell you that. I might just even say the beginning. A lot of us are young, ambitious, very, very motivated to see what our future will look like, and we're actually taking advantage of our 20s. And you might end up hitting where you might hit where you want to be at in your 20s, and now you got your 30s to live life, you got your 40s, you got your 50s, like you got all these years. So this is like you still in the beginning, even if you hit it in the next 5 years. And one last thing I want to leave y'all off with, because I remember like when I was with my boys, and I remember when we would be talking about like what we gonna do when we get out of school, when we get out of our parents' crib, what life gonna be like for us, how we gonna do this and that. But a lot of niggas forget what they said, bro. A lot of niggas forgot about the goals that they had, bro. A lot of people used to say things like, man, once I get out my mom's house or my pop's crib, my mom and dad crib, this is what I'm gonna be on. Life can be so much different, bro. I feel like my parents holding me back. I can't be who I want to be. And as true as that was, before I get to my point, I low-key feel bad for the people who had like very strict parents or were raised in very religious households. And I'm gonna say this, right? Because those guys and gals never had the opportunity to trust their inner voice and make moves and decisions for themselves. They've always had someone trying to calculate their every step in their life. They like, if you had strict parents, your parents always probably told you things like, boy, you don't know no better. This is what you got to do. Like, stop thinking you know everything and listen to me. You know what I mean? Like I hope I'm not triggering no one with what I'm saying, but this is real life. Like, people hearing this, or if you live in a Christian household, there's probably telling you things like, God got you. You need to trust what God has in plan for you. And they're not telling you. You need to listen to what your inner voice is saying. Like, you need to listen to yourself. Your heart not gonna lead you wrong. You need to trust your voice. Most people not growing up hearing that, and a lot of people, parents were trying to move for them because they ain't moved for themselves, right? But thankfully for myself, my mom wasn't on that. Like, I was able to make all my decisions for myself since I got out of high school. Even in high school, I was making decisions for myself. So it was like I always was listening to my inner voice. So now in the real world, I can continue to do that and make good moves and attack and act on the moves I want to make. So it wasn't like I got at my mom's house and now it's like, all right, well, shit, I need to work. And then I go work, and then I get tired, and I go to sleep. Then I just do this rinse, wash, repeat cycle of just work, eat, sleep, work, eat, sleep. Like, I didn't get caught up in that. I was like, shit, I said what I was going to do when I get up my mama crib. What time we finna be on? You know what I mean? But Some niggas, they never had the chance to like really listen to themselves. So like as much as they inner voice is beating at the door to wake their ass up and tell them to get out of bed. You know you got goals on the day offs when you get off work. All right, you got time now. You got off work a little early. You know you can like read this book that you want to learn more on finances, or you know you might be able to tap into this course that you paid for months back because you just got this crazy burst of motivation at 3 in the morning and you end up buying a course. Like you can really tap into this course now. But a lot of shit just gets put to the file. The dreams get pushed right to the side because they never understood or knew when to put themselves first and just listen to themselves when it's time to really lock in, you know? And it's a sad case, man. It's a sad case of people who don't really learn how to really listen to themselves and learn and use that inner voice, because that's what kicks you in the next gear. And now you don't got nothing holding you back and you still can't do it. And you know, in your 20s, this is your time. If you are in your 20s, even in your 30s though, but let's say your 20s, these are the years you prove to your younger self, I'm gonna do everything I said I would do. These are the years. These are the years you do everything I said. I told myself I'm gonna get rich in my 20s. I'm gonna use all the time I have now, since I don't have nothing holding me back, to go do everything I said I'm gonna do. I don't got school holding me back. I ain't got my parents trying to keep me into going to certain events holding me back, or doing anything that they want me to do holding me back. I got all the time in the world when I'm not at work to do whatever I said I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna get caught up, just with no motion. You know what I mean? With no motion. But a lot of niggas forgot that they gave themselves their word when they were 17 and 16. A lot of people forgot that. And now they put them run into the same cycle that their parents ran into probably. And again, that's up to them. Like, everyone gonna live the life that they want to live. Some people might wake up in their 30s and realize like, damn, I should have never fucked off in my 20s. But those people who decided to really still stick to their word that they gave themselves when they was younger, they gonna see what their 30s look like. Like, y'all gonna see what my 30s look like. And it's gonna be exactly what I always told myself I'll be doing, bro. I'm gonna be successful. I'm gonna be getting money. I'm gonna be living the life I want to live. My kids gonna be good. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what it's gonna be, because I'm working in my 20s to get to make sure my 30s and my 40s and 50s is good. Like, these are your glory years. You're gonna be in the best shape ever majority of the time in your 20s. You know what I mean? I'm about to be 25 next month. I'm starting to feel weird ass neck and back pains now. I'm like, my knees starting to feel a little weird. I'm like, all right, well, I'm a pretty healthy dude, but I'm starting to feel things that I ain't never felt before. And you just gotta really make sure you're keeping your word to yourself, man, because this is what I really mean by how tough beginnings lead to happy endings. Tough beginnings, when I first started learning about growth and all that other stuff, bro, a lot of heartaches and battles, bro. A lot of lost friendships, a lot of lost trust, a lot of people snaking you, because you never get snaked by a stranger. You get snaked by someone you knew who wasn't. So you go through a lot of hating, a lot of misjudgment on character, and keeping like being in circles, not knowing if it's the right one or not. So you gotta keep going through, from circle, not jumping from circle to circle, because you don't need that, but more so you just keep trying to place yourself in the right opportunities, right positions. And sometimes you're not choosing the right opportunities, but you're learning in every opportunity you get into. So it can be a little tough when you first start growing and you're trying to surround yourself around the best people you believe you can grow with. But sometimes, who you start your journey with is not who you end it with. And that goes for friendships and relationships. So let this one be a good one for y'all, as far as what to just keep in mind for yourselves, man. Your life can really turn up for yourselves as long as y'all lock in now. Lock in now. Don't worry about hitting, don't worry about being where you want to be at in the next 5 years. Just worry about being locked in to a certain grind, like setting a certain standard for yourself. Like, what is your standard for your life? Like in high school, I remember we had a motivational speaker come talk to us the other day, right? And he's a Hall of Fame motivational speaker, which is even cooler. And he told us, bruh, when y'all was in high school, some people went into high school and they standard was like the standard they set for themselves is all I need is a C and I graduate. And I always had that mentality, C's get degrees. I'm just trying to pass. And he was just like, but the same way your standard was that C, you had people was getting A's in the class. You had people in your classroom who they standard was an A. They ain't allowed nothing but an A. And I was just like, damn, like I really could have just upped my standard for myself. Why didn't I up my standard? Why did I have such a low standard for myself? Even though I don't care about nothing about no school now, it's like, why didn't I have a standard of like being greater than what I allowed myself to be? And some people will carry the standard they had when they was in school into their adult life because your early years make you, and it really molds you and helps you become who you're gonna become in the real world. So it's like it's people right now who still working with that same minimal ass standard for themselves. Like, they was comfortable getting C's in school. They probably comfortable just getting a regular lame ass job after school. And that's is what it is. Some niggas will work a lame ass job all their life and claim they hot shit. And you not. That's lame. You got to be great now, bro. Especially if you want kids. Who your kids gonna look up to? You? Hell no. Nah. I bet your kid will look up to the same person. Whatever A's equivalent to in school need to equivalent into the real world of your day-to-day actions. Like, what does getting an A in the real world look like? That's probably the person who got a strong ass morning routine, someone who works out, polishes their mindset, working towards getting a great job, building a good career. Like, that's what I would think an A looks like in the real world. You know what I mean? And just applying themselves, trying to be the best version of who they is. That's how you get an A in this life, bro. That's how you pass life. That's how you beat the system. But not everyone wants to do that. But if you do want to do that, up your standards. Set high ass standards for yourself. You can't have no weak ass standards. Can't have no weak ass standards. You gonna land. You always gonna fall to your standards, bro. You always fall to your standards. When life gets great, life gets great. But when times get tough, your standards is where you fall, bro. If you're comfortable having nothing in your account and you end up having a huge run for yourself, if you ain't set your standards and start moving your standards with your lifestyle, if your standards are still at the fucking ground, bro, you're gonna hit rock bottom if shit gets left for you, bro. Shit goes left. So just don't allow your standards to, fuck you up, bro. Like, have high standards now before you get up. Like be disgusted at where your life is at right now and make something change from it, bro. Like make something shake from this shit, bro, because shit not cool not being where you want to be at. It's not. It's cool to be grateful. Don't get me wrong. Be grateful for where you at because, everybody loves an underdog story. Everybody loves a story that leads to you go from the grind to the shine. Everybody loves that. So be grateful for that fact you might be able to have that journey. But don't get too comfortable there, nigga. Like, you're not where you want to be at. You not hot shit. Don't get caught up trying to prove yourself to niggas that you someone you not. Prove to yourself right now that you're everything you believe you can be and become that. And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Beginners can be tough, man. Beginners can be tough, but it won't be tough for long, man. So that's all I want to say. I love y'all boys and gals. I appreciate y'all who be tapping into my content. And, if you rocking with me, shit, you going up. That's all we do over here. If you rocking with me, you going up. That's just point blank period. So love y'all. Talk to y'all later. And keep tapping to the next video, man. Like, subscribe, share this with someone you love, and, just don't forget who you are. You're greater than where you at right now. I'm gone. Peace.